Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about lipless crankbait fishing and blade bait fishing. November into December, cold water. One of my favorite ways to fish, one of my favorite ways to put fish in the boat. Let's talk about the lipless and the blade. Here we go. Get in the boat. There we go. On the board, number one, right in the roof of the mouth on the blade bait. He's a good one. Right through the roof of the mouth on the blade. Out here in the abyss. 16, 17 foot of water. Right on the nose. A nice fish right there, nice cold fish. Alright guys, let's take a look at the map. This time of the year, November, December, there are two baits that I really love to pick up because they are reaction baits and they get bit even in the coldest water, right? Number one, bass begin to move out of the shallow areas. Here we're at Lake Tippecanoe, right, my home lake. Bass begin to move out of these shallow areas back to where they're going to winter. Almost think of it, winter is the same as midsummer, right? Bass are moving to those deep structure areas where they're going to hold all winter and feed up on bait fish, do different things. There's a movement shallow in the wintertime. We'll talk about that later. But what I want to focus on right now is bass are going to begin to move to these last areas holding grass. They were in early fall, they're in that 2, 3, 4 foot of grass up there eating panfish, eating bluegill. As winter progresses, they're going to move out to what I call guts, right? Guts are areas in between shallow and deep, right? So here's the perfect example of a gut right here. You see 23, 24 foot water depth in this gut, and here's a gut, here's a gut, here's a gut, right? If you can see that, fish are going to suspend in the middle of these guts, right? And they're going to move up to these edges to feed. So when I fish a rattle trap or I fish a blade bait, what I'm doing is I'm throwing a bait fish or panfish imitator and I'm stroking it up off the bottom. You can see in that first clip that I displayed, when I'm throwing at these areas, I'm specifically targeting these guts or these areas, right? That's the first thing that I'm gonna find. So I'm gonna go all the way down Tippy Lake and I'm gonna fish these guts, right? Right in here. Those fish are gonna move up on these edges to feed in 22, 23 feet of water. You're on a blade bait down it right here, you're gonna get caught. You're on a blade bait down it right here, you're gonna get caught. You fish up here on the flat, probably not gonna catch anything, right? This is the time of the year when you can pattern fish a lot of areas because fish are going to sit in predictable locations, right? Here's another great example of a gut, right? Over here in Peytona Bay, you see these 20-foot water depths over here. Fish are going to push up onto these 14, 15-foot flats and any green weeds they can find to eat. They're going to weather the changing weather patterns out here in that 20 degree, that 20-foot range. So find guts and fish those traps and blades up and down those different areas. You're going to run into fish, and when you find out where they're at in a gut, you can repeat that all over the lake. So let's talk about how we fish a blade bait. Number one, you're going to fish this with hops and pumps off the bottom. The blade bait primarily is going to be a visual bite that fish are going to track down through the column. And as you can see here, it's a hunk of metal, right? But when you rip that up, you get a vibration out of that blade. You can see that wiggle right there as that blade's coming up. And what fish are going to do is they're going to track it to the bottom. They'll pick it up off the bottom. Most of the fish that you're going to catch on a blade are literally going to follow this to the bottom. They're going to eat it as it hops up to the next one. It's a great presentation. You can fish it horizontally and vertically. It's going to get bit simply off of vibration. The other bait that I throw, I learned from watching Tactical Bassin and watching the California guys do it, is the LV500. This is a 3/4 ounce rattle trap, and as you can see, it acts a lot like the blade bait. It has a different vibration and it has more of a gliding action. This bait was meant to be stroked off the bottom just like that, and literally it will get bit when fish have seen the blade a lot. I like this in the late fall, early winter period, because fish are still feeding up and are aggressive. It's a bigger profile, it gets a bigger bite than the blade bait sometimes, but it will get bit and it is lights out when they are on it. I think the biggest limit that Tactical Bassin ever had came on an LV500. This is a bait that I can attest to. I'm going to do a full video breakdown on it later this year, but I wanted to get it out early so you guys knew about it.
Guys, this is what we're looking for, right? We want wall-to-wall bait. We've got some bigger fish hanging out right here. We're in 25 feet of water. Water's low 40s, 50s. So we're gonna vertical fish some of these on this line back here, see what we can find. Nice one on the blade. Cold tail fish. Waking up on that blade bait, baby. Wake up the echoes. Let's go.
Hey guys, just want to thank you for hanging out with us today. Go out, fish the rattle trap, the lipless crankbait, fish the blade bait, find those guts. It's gonna be great from the 60-degree water temps all the way down to ice up, right? And then we're gonna hit something different. But let us know what you want to see on the channel. We're doing the underwater stuff. We're getting that mixed in. We're getting the seasonal stuff mixed in. You guys have been really responding to us. So we'll see you out there. See you next time.